This is Blaze, 8th grader. He joined Leap Squad in the summer of last year, and he's just a superstar stud. He's super athletic, super talented, and all that is great. But when I assess athletes, I look at, are they doing things that optimize their overall strength, their abilities? Are they happy? Are they confident? And etc. And he has a lot of these things. But what I've noticed is that in track and field specifically, he's been coached based on his athletic ability. And he's kind of been slipping through the cracks when it comes to his overall training, simply because when you're good and you win everything, the drive and the passion behind it isn't as focused. And same thing with the coaches. Sometimes we get an athlete that is super athletic and we just really focus on, well, they're winning, so we don't really have to develop them as much. We got to develop the athletes who aren't as talented to get them to be as good as athletes such as Blaze. But the real thing is, no, we got to keep the same energy into every athlete, because when every athlete gets that type of development, they're all going to reach the optimal level. And so we're going to be focusing on Blaze's long jump. So here was his long jump last season when he first joined Leap Squad. We were at the San Diego, California State Games. As you can see, he has a lot of good things happening, right? He's running really well. He's aggressive. He's strong. He's able to jump from that 12-foot board. You can see that he's starting his motions of jumping a little bit too soon. He's already into his landing gear the second he pops up. He's already focusing on landing the second he's at his highest point of his jump. All these things are basic and they're natural. They're normal for beginner athletes. But you can still see that he really jumped out there. I think this jump was about 16 feet. But we have something to work with. I didn't really teach him anything in this position. All I did was give him a mark that got him on the board, and this was the result. So then fast forward, we've gone through a football season, we've gone through an off season for track and field, and now let's see any progressions he's had so far. Now we're at Arcadia High School. We can see that his approach is starting to look like a long jump approach. He's not just sprinting from the beginning, he's starting to build up a little bit. And then his speed comes into play. As you can see, he's starting to check because he's not consistent on his approach. However, you can see that at the board, he runs off. There's way more extension there. He's penetrating the pit, and then he's focusing on keeping his knees together. His landing there looks a lot better than before. So we're progressing. Last practice, we focused on getting that step to be consistent, focused on allowing his rhythm to happen. So instead of jumping specifically, we're mainly focused on his approach, the transitions happening, and we found that we were on the board. But now we got to bring more speed through. And the other part is, once he took off, he naturally ran into his position, has exchange, and is looking a lot better when it comes to the hitch kick to allow him to keep his speed through his jump. And this was the final product of his practice. He was able to really bring his approach in, stay consistent, a little bit of a break there, but as you can see, that jump really came together. Push off the board, knee drive is there, the exchange point is happening at 8 feet, which is already on pace for 16, and then he lands, and he has momentum carrying him through still. What this means is that because he is running faster and allowing himself to push off the board, he now has time in the air. And the hitch kick was based off of his last jump timing. And so that's why he landed so soon. But we measured this. This is about 17 mid. This landing here was about 18 and a half. And then here was 22 when he finally finished rolling. The focus is to slow down the overall positions and checkpoints within the jump. That'll keep him in the air longer, to keep his knees up and keep him balanced in the air. And then his body should be landing around that 18 mid, 19-foot range, which is really good for a 8th grader. And then once we put together his overall approach, get him comfortable, get him off the board, keeping his head, everything upright, and posture forward, he's going to look at a maximum of 21 to 22 feet as an 8th grader, which is phenomenal. So right now we're looking at a range between 19 to 21 feet, and let's focus on development. So here's Blaze Burwell. Keep a close eye on this young man, and we're going to keep watching his progression.